Create happiness. That's all your own. What if I told you that happiness is not something you chase or hope for? It's something you create, design, and build with intention. Too many people live their lives as if happiness is a destination, waiting for the right job, the ideal relationship, or the next achievement that will make them happy. But the hard truth is as follows: happiness doesn't come from the outside. It originates within. Imagine waking up every single day knowing that your happiness isn't dependent on anything or anyone else, but rather on the basis of how you decide to present yourself. It doesn't matter awaiting the alignment of the world. It's about taking full responsibility for your inner state and shaping your happiness in every moment. In this journey, we'll break through the illusions of external happiness, the kind that fades with circumstances, and empower you with the tools to design a life of joy, fulfillment, and inner peace that's truly yours. You will learn how to silence society's noise, put aside comparisons, and put your faith in your incredible ability to design your life you've always wanted. You alone hold the blueprint for your happiness, and no one else can define it for you. So are you ready to stop letting life happen to you and start creating the happiness you deserve? It's time to take control. Let's get going. Lesson 1: the foundation of self-worth. Build your happiness from inside. To truly design happiness, the first and most crucial step is understanding that it originates within. We live in a world where so many of us mistakenly tie our happiness to things outside of ourselves, external achievements, the approval of others, or how well we are perceived. We often believe that happiness is something to be found in the approval of others, the validation from success, or the perfect life as shown on social media. But here's the truth: these things do not bring true happiness. Instead, it's created from within, grounded in a deep sense of self-worth. Self-worth is about knowing that you're enough, just as you are, without needing to change anything to fit someone else's idea of success or happiness. It's about embracing yourself fully, your strengths, your flaws, your imperfections, and realizing that you don't need to seek external validation to feel worthy of love, success, or joy. When you start to believe in your own intrinsic value, you unlock the power to create lasting happiness, one that's resilient to the ups and downs of life. The key to this happiness is learning to celebrate yourself, not for what you do or what others think of you, but simply for being you. Think about it. How often do you take time to truly appreciate who you are? It's so easy to get caught up in the external world, constantly comparing ourselves to others, but it's vital to remember that you are already whole, already worthy. The first step to building to achieve inner happiness is to actively nurture this sense of self-worth. A great way to begin is by making a list of things you love about yourself. Write down 10 things that make you proud, qualities you admire, or things that make you feel good about who you are. This isn't about being arrogant or boastful, it's about acknowledging your value. It's an exercise in self-compassion where you're saying to yourself, I am worthy of love, success, and joy just as I am. This list of 10 things you love about yourself will be your foundation, a reminder of the truth of who you are. Keep it somewhere you can refer to often, maybe in your journal, on your phone, or on your bathroom mirror. Whenever doubt or negativity creeps in, read this list. Let it be a constant affirmation of your worth, something you can always turn to when you need to remind yourself of your true value. Over time, this practice will help shift your mindset and you'll begin to naturally feel more grounded in your own worth, creating a sense of happiness that doesn't depend on external factors. When you build your happiness on the foundation of self-worth, you free yourself from the need for constant external validation. You'll no longer feel like you have to prove your value to anyone, and you'll begin to feel a deep inner peace that no external circumstance can shake. The power of gratitude. Shift your focus to abundance. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools you have to design lasting happiness. In our fast-paced world, it's so easy to get caught up in what we don't have or what we wish were different. We often focus on what's missing from our lives, the things that didn't go as planned, or the things we are still waiting for. This mindset of lack can leave us feeling frustrated, anxious, and disconnected from joy. But when you practice gratitude, you completely shift your focus, moving from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude allows you to see the richness of what you already have right in front of you. It's not about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing that, no matter how hard things may seem, there are always things to be thankful for. By making gratitude a regular practice, you train your mind to look for the good, which in turn increases your happiness. When you focus on the positives in your life, No matter how small, your brain starts to rewire itself, seeking more things to appreciate. Over time, this simple shift can transform your entire outlook on life. Think about the times when you felt the happiest. Chances are you were in a state of gratitude. Maybe it was when you shared a good meal with friends, spent time with loved ones, or accomplished a goal you worked hard for. These moments of happiness often come from recognizing and appreciating the good things in life. When you make gratitude a part of your daily routine, these moments become more frequent, and your overall happiness will start to grow. But how do you make gratitude a consistent practice in your life? One of the easiest and most effective ways is by keeping a gratitude journal. Every day, take a moment to reflect on at least 3 things you are grateful for. These can be big things, like your health, or a recent achievement, or small things, like a kind gesture from a stranger, the warmth of the sun, or the comfort of a good cup of coffee. There's no right or wrong way to do this. The goal is simply to focus your attention on the positives. Over time, this practice of writing down what you're thankful for helps you become more mindful of the abundance in your life. It trains your brain to seek out gratitude in even the most ordinary moments. You might begin to notice things you never paid attention to before, the beauty of nature, the kindness of others, or the little things that make your day easier. All of these small moments, when acknowledged, add up to create a much larger sense of contentment and joy. In addition to journaling, you can also practice gratitude throughout the day. When you're stuck in traffic, instead of getting frustrated, focus on being thankful for the opportunity to take a break and reflect. When you're feeling down, remind yourself of the positive things in your life. This practice doesn't mean ignoring the tough moments, but it does mean choosing to find peace and joy in the things that are going well. Gratitude is a choice, and the more you choose it, the more it will become a part of who you are. By consistently focusing on what you already have, you create a mindset of abundance that empowers you to design happiness on your terms. As you continue this practice, you will find that it not only improves your happiness, but also helps you feel more fulfilled and content, no matter the circumstances around you. Lesson 3. Embrace imperfection. Let go of the need for perfection. It's a concept that many of us chase, yet it remains elusive. In a world that constantly bombards us with flawless images of success, beauty, and achievement, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that happiness can only be found when we meet some impossible standard of perfection. But here's the reality. Perfection is an illusion, and in the pursuit of it, we often lose out on the joy and peace that come from simply being human. When we strive for perfection, we're setting ourselves up for frustration and disappointment. The fear of making mistakes or not measuring up can paralyze us, preventing us from taking action or enjoying the present moment. We waste so much of our energy trying to control every aspect of life, believing that things must always go a certain way in order to be right. But true happiness doesn't come from flawless outcomes. It comes from embracing life as it is, imperfections and all. Embracing imperfection means accepting that life will never go exactly as planned, and that's okay. It's about letting go of unrealistic expectations and learning to appreciate the beauty and the messiness of life. Think of a beautiful painting. The strokes may not always be perfect, but it's the imperfections that give the artwork character and depth. Similarly, it's your imperfections, your mistakes, your struggles, your learning process that shape who you are and make you unique. These imperfections are not flaws. They are part of your journey and your story. When you release the need for everything to be perfect, you free yourself from the constant pressure to perform. You create space for authenticity, creativity, and real growth. Imagine how much more relaxed you would feel if you allowed yourself to make mistakes, to try new things without the fear of failure, and to accept that things will sometimes go wrong, and that's perfectly okay. By letting go of perfection, you open yourself up to the possibility of true happiness, one that's grounded in self-acceptance and peace. A great way to begin embracing imperfection is by practicing self-compassion. Instead of being hard on yourself when things don't go as planned, be kind and understanding. Treat yourself as you would a close friend, someone who deserves love and support even when they mess up. Remember, every mistake is an opportunity for growth and learning, not a sign of failure. You can also start by reflecting on the moments in your life when you've strived for perfection and how it affected your happiness. Did it bring you joy, or did it create stress and frustration? What if you had embraced the imperfection in those moments instead? By recognizing where perfectionism has held you back, you can begin to shift your mindset. A key practice in embracing imperfection is allowing yourself to be good enough. You don't need to be perfect to be worthy of love, success, or happiness. In fact, it's your willingness to be authentic and imperfect that makes you relatable and real. It's this realness that attracts true happiness because it comes from a place of honesty and self-acceptance. Start today. Why? By letting go of one thing you've been trying to make perfect, whether it's a project, a relationship, or an aspect of yourself. Give yourself permission to be imperfect. Allow it to be messy, unfinished, or flawed, and notice how it feels to just let go. In doing so, you'll create space for a deeper, more fulfilling sense of happiness, one that's not dependent on perfection, but on embracing life as it is with all its beautiful imperfections. Lesson 4: Let go of comparisons. Happiness on your own terms. In today's world, comparisons are almost inevitable. Social media, advertisements, and even conversations with friends and family constantly present images of success, beauty, and happiness. We are often led to believe that happiness is something defined by others, by what we see in others' lives, what society deems successful, or by the picture-perfect lifestyles we admire. However, the truth is that happiness is a deeply personal experience, and it cannot be found by comparing your life to anyone else's. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you lose sight of your own unique path. You begin to measure your worth based on what others are doing, achieving, or having. This creates a sense of inadequacy because there will always be someone who appears to be more successful, happier, or further ahead. The problem with this comparison mindset is that it takes your focus away from what truly matters, what makes you happy, fulfilled, and content. Happiness, after all, is not a competition. It's an individual journey. Instead of defining happiness based on the accomplishments or experiences of others, it's time to start defining it on your own terms. Ask yourself, what does happiness look like for me? What brings me joy, peace, and fulfillment? The answers may be different from what you see in others, and that's okay. Happiness is not one size fits all. It's about creating a life that aligns with your values, passions, and desires, not with what someone else thinks you should want. Letting go of comparison starts with recognizing that everyone has their own unique path. Each person's journey is shaped by different experiences, circumstances, and choices. Your life is your own, and it should be measured by your standards, not anyone else's. When you compare yourself to others, you are essentially trying to live someone else's life. But only you can live your own life to its fullest potential. One of the most powerful ways to stop comparing yourself to others is to shift your focus inward. Instead of looking at others to determine where you should be in life, look at yourself. What have you already accomplished? What progress have you made? What strengths do you possess? This inward focus helps you recognize that you're on your own unique journey, and there is no need to compare it to anyone else's. Another important step in letting go of comparisons is practicing gratitude for where you are right now. It's easy to get caught up in the "I'll be happy when" mindset, where you believe that happiness will come only once you achieve a certain goal or acquire something you don't have. But when you focus on the present and appreciate what you have today, you begin to see how much you already have to be grateful for. This mindset shift takes you out of comparison mode and places you in a space of appreciation and contentment. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. What are you grateful for? What have you accomplished that makes you proud? Celebrate these achievements, no matter how small they may seem. You've made progress, and that's worth acknowledging. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you begin to see how far you've come and how much you have to offer the world. Letting go of comparisons also means recognizing that you don't need anyone's approval to be happy. Happiness is not dependent on other people's opinions or judgments. When you live life according to your own values and principles, you are free from the need for external validation. You become more confident in your decisions, knowing that you are living authentically and true to yourself. A powerful exercise to stop comparing yourself to others is to take a break from social media. Social media often amplifies comparisons, making it easy to feel inadequate or like you're falling behind. By taking a step back, you allow yourself the space to focus on your own life without the constant bombardment of what others are doing. Use this time to reconnect with yourself, set your own goals, and reflect on what truly brings you happiness. Remember that happiness is a journey, not a destination. There will always be moments where you feel tempted to compare yourself to others, but the more you practice defining happiness on your own terms, the easier it becomes. Embrace your uniqueness and trust that you're on the right path for you. Let go of the pressure to measure up to anyone else and focus on creating a life that makes you happy. Lesson 5: Min. Default living. Be present in every moment. Happiness is not a future event. It's something you can experience right now. Yet, so often, we chase after it, believing it lies just around the corner. Once we get that promotion, once we lose those extra pounds, once we meet that perfect partner, we think that happiness is something to be attained through achievements or changes in circumstances. However, the truth is that happiness isn't something to be found later. It's something that exists in every moment, waiting for us to become present enough to experience it. Mindfulness is the practice of bringing your attention to the present moment. It's about being fully engaged with the here and now, rather than getting caught up in regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. When you practice mindfulness, you step out of autopilot mode and become aware of your surroundings, your thoughts, and your feelings. You create space to experience life as it truly is without the filter of expectat, ions, or distractions. The key to mindfulness is understanding that the present moment is all we really have. The past is gone and the future is uncertain. While it's important to plan and reflect, constantly dwelling on what's happened or what might happen prevents you from fully engaging with the richness of the present moment. The more you learn to live mindfully, the more you start to see the beauty in ordinary experiences. The simple act of drinking a cup of tea, feeling the warmth of the sun on your face, or enjoying a meaningful conversation with a friend. These moments, when fully appreciated, are what make up the fabric of a happy life. One of the most powerful ways to incorporate mindfulness into your life is through mindfulness meditation. This practice doesn't require any special skill or equipment. All you need is a quiet space, a few minutes, and your full attention. To start, simply find a comfortable sitting position, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Breathe in and out. Notice the sensations in your body, the sounds around you, and the thoughts that come and go. Don't try to control your thoughts or push them away. Just observe them without judgment. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring your focus back to your breath. Over time, you'll become better at returning to the present moment whenever your mind drifts. Mindfulness doesn't have to be limited to meditation. You can practice it throughout the day by bringing your full attention to whatever you're doing. When you're eating, savor each bite, paying attention to the flavors and textures. When you're walking, feel the sensation of your feet on the ground and notice the details of your surroundings. Even in moments of stress or frustration, practicing mindfulness can help you ground yourself and regain a sense of calm. By focusing on the present, you stop the cycle of rumination and anxiety, and instead you find peace in the moment. One of the greatest gifts of mindful living is that it allows you to cultivate a sense of gratitude for the small things in life. So often, we overlook the simple joys because we're too focused on achieving bigger goals or chasing after what's next. But when you live mindfully, you begin to notice the beauty in everyday moments. Whether it's the sound of birds chirping, the feeling of rain on your skin, or the laughter of a loved one. These moments, when fully experienced, fill your life with a quiet but profound sense of happiness. Mindfulness trains you to see the world with fresh eyes, discovering joy in the present instead of waiting for it to come in the future. Another important aspect of mindfulness is how it enhances emotional resilience. Life will inevitably bring challenges, stress, frustration, disappointment, and even heartbreak. But when you practice mindfulness, you create a mental and emotional space that allows you to respond to these challenges more effectively. Instead of reacting impulsively, mindfulness helps you pause, observe your emotions, and choose a response that aligns with your values and well-being. This practice of awareness gives you the power to stay calm and centered, no matter what life throws your way. In addition to emotional resilience, mindfulness also promotes better relationships. When you're present with others, whether it's listening attentively to a friend or simply enjoying a quiet moment with a partner, you create deeper connections. Mindfulness helps you be more empathetic, compassionate, and understanding because it allows you to fully engage in the moment and truly listen without distractions. When you bring your full presence to your interactions, you enrich your relationships and experience more meaningful connections. Living mindfully also fosters self-awareness. By paying attention to your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, you begin to understand yourself on a deeper level. You may notice patterns in your thinking or areas where you tend to react automatically without thought. This self-awareness gives you the opportunity to make conscious choices about how you live and how you respond to the world around you. It's a powerful tool for self-growth and self-improvement as it helps you align your actions with your values and desires. Mindful living is a journey, not a destination. It's about making the choice to be present in each moment, to let go of distractions, and to engage fully with your life. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to access the joy, peace, and happiness that reside within the present moment. Remember, you don't need to wait for the perfect moment to be happy. Happiness is already here, right now, in the breath you take, the steps you walk, and the moments you experience. Lesson 6. Create boundaries. Protect your happiness. In our quest to build a life filled with happiness, one of the most important steps is learning to create and enforce boundaries. Boundaries are not just about saying no to others, are about saying yes to your own well-being. In a world where demands on our time, energy, and emotions can often feel overwhelming, setting boundaries is crucial to protecting your happiness and maintaining your inner peace. Boundaries allow you to protect your time, your energy, and your emotional health by setting clear limits on what you will and will not tolerate. Without boundaries, we often find ourselves saying yes to things that drain us, stress us out, or go against our values. We may overcommit ourselves, take on responsibilities that aren't ours, or allow others to treat us in ways that don't honor our worth. When we fail to set boundaries, we end up feeling resentful, burned out, and disconnected from the very things that bring us joy. The first step in creating boundaries is recognizing that your time, energy, and emotional well-being are precious. No one else can protect these for you. It's up to you to establish the limits that honor your needs. Boundaries are a way of valuing yourself and your happiness. They communicate to the world that you are worthy of respect, space, and peace. Without them, we become reactive instead of proactive, allowing external forces to dictate how we feel and how we live. When you set boundaries, you are taking control of your life and ensuring that it aligns with your personal values and priorities. It's important to realize that boundaries are not about shutting others out or being rigid. They are about creating healthy space where you can flourish. Healthy boundaries allow for deep, meaningful relationships because they are rooted in respect for both yourself and others. When you set clear boundaries, you teach people how to treat you and you create an environment where mutual respect can thrive. Boundaries help prevent resentment from building up, which in turn allows you to show up as your best self in all areas of your life. One of the most common reasons people avoid setting boundaries is the fear of disappointing others. We worry that if we say no or prioritize our own needs, we will let people down or damage our relationships. However, the truth is that setting boundaries actually improves relationships by fostering a deeper sense of trust and respect. People who respect your boundaries are more likely to respect you as a person, and they will appreciate your honesty and clarity. By setting boundaries, you are being honest about what you need in order to be your best self, and that ultimately benefits everyone around you. So, how do you begin setting and enforcing boundaries in your life? Start by identifying the areas where you feel drained, overburdened, or emotionally taxed. These are often the places where you need to set stronger boundaries. Are you saying yes to too many requests at work? Are you allowing friends or family members to cross your emotional boundaries by being overly critical or demanding? Are you sacrificing your own needs to make others happy? Once you've identified these areas, start by being clear with yourself about what you will and will not tolerate. For example, if you're constantly overcommitting at work, you might set a boundary by only agreeing to take on a certain number of projects per week. If a friend tends to be negative and drains your energy, you might set a boundary by limiting the amount of time you spend with them or kindly letting them know when their behavior is no longer acceptable. Setting boundaries doesn't mean being rude or disrespectful. It's about being clear, direct, and assertive in protecting your peace. Another powerful tool in setting boundaries is learning to say no. Saying no is not about rejecting others. It's about making space for your own needs, time, and happiness. It's about prioritizing what matters most to you. Saying no with kindness and confidence allows you to take control of your life and protect your energy from being depleted by things that don't align with your values. Remember, every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to something that nourishes your happiness. It's also essential to be consistent with your boundaries. Once you set them, stick to them. This is where many people struggle. When boundaries are not consistently enforced, they lose their power. Others may test your boundaries, pushing you to compromise or let go of your limits. But by staying firm and respectful, you communicate that your well-being is a priority. Over time, people will come to respect your boundaries because they will see that you value your own peace and happiness. One of the most important aspects of boundaries is self-care. Boundaries give you the space you need to care for yourself, physically, emotionally, and mentally. When you protect your time and energy, you create space to nurture your health, pursue your passions, and enjoy moments of joy. Boundaries allow you to prioritize your needs without feeling guilty, knowing that in doing so, you are strengthening your ability to show up for others in a meaningful way. By taking care of yourself, you create the foundation for a happy, fulfilled life. Remember that boundaries are fluid. As you grow and change, your boundaries may need to evolve as well. What worked for you at one point in your life may not be what serves you now. Be open to reassessing your boundaries and adjusting them as necessary. Life is dynamic, and your boundaries should reflect your ongoing journey. Creating and maintaining boundaries is one of the most empowering steps you can take in designing a happiness that's all your own. By protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being, you create the space for joy, peace, and fulfillment to thrive. Boundaries are not selfish. They are a vital part of self-love and self-respect. They allow you to live in alignment with your true self, free from the drain of others' demands and expectations. When you protect your happiness with healthy boundaries, you make space for the life you truly desire. Lesson 7: The compound effect of focused energy, creating lasting change in your life. One of the most powerful concepts in creating lasting happiness and transformation is understanding the compound effect of focused energy. The compound effect refers to the idea that small, consistent actions over time can lead to significant, lasting results. Just as the compounding interest on a savings account grows exponentially, the energy you invest in creating positive changes in your life grows in ways that may not be immediately visible. But over time, it leads to profound shifts in your reality. When it comes to happiness, success, and personal growth, the key is not to expect dramatic overnight transformations. Rather, it's about making small, intentional choices that align with your goals and values day after day. These small actions, when done consistently, build momentum and lead to powerful shifts that can change the trajectory of your life. The beauty of this approach is that it allows you to make progress toward happiness, even if you're only taking one small step at a time. The compound effect works because energy, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, is never wasted when directed with intention. Imagine that you are focusing on building a new habit, like exercising every day, practicing gratitude, or meditating. At first, the changes might seem insignificant. You might feel like the effort you're putting in isn't producing the results you want. But over time, those small actions accumulate. They start to compound, and the results become undeniable. Your body becomes stronger, your mind becomes calmer, and your heart becomes more open to gratitude. The more you invest in positive, focused energy, the more you start to see and feel the benefits in your life. This is the beauty of focused energy. It's not about making huge leaps forward all at once, but rather about building consistency in the right direction. When you make small, intentional decisions each day to focus your energy on what truly matters, whether it's your health, relationships, personal growth, or happiness, you begin to create a powerful ripple effect. The energy you invest in one area of your life begins to spill over into others, creating a cycle of growth, momentum, and fulfillment. Consider the impact of cultivating a habit of mindfulness. Initially, it might feel like just a small shift, sitting quietly for a few minutes, practicing deep breathing, or focusing on the present moment. But over time, as you practice mindfulness regularly, you'll notice that your reactions to stress and challenges become more measured. You begin to feel more calm and at peace with yourself. You become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, and as a result, you respond to life with greater clarity and composure. What began as a small action, a few minutes of mindfulness, has now led to a significant transformation in how you handle daily challenges, and this shift impacts all areas of your life. Similarly, if you focus your energy on self-care, the effects will compound as well. You may start by making the simple choice to prioritize your health, eating nourishing foods, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep. At first, you might not feel an immediate change, but over time, your body becomes stronger, more energized, and more resilient. Your energy levels increase, and you begin to feel more capable of handling the demands of life. The compounding effect of these small daily actions results in a healthier, more vibrant version of yourself, and this vibrancy spills over into your relationships, work, and overall happiness. The same principle applies to your mindset and attitude toward life. When you consciously choose to focus on gratitude, for example, you begin to shift your perspective. Instead of fixating on what you lack or what's going wrong, you begin to notice all the things that are going well, your health, the people you love, the beauty of the world around you. These small moments of gratitude compound over time, and you start to live with a greater sense of appreciation, contentment, and joy. The more you focus on what you're grateful for, the more abundance you see in your life, and the more happiness you experience. Focused energy also works when it comes to pursuing your goals and dreams. Too often people feel overwhelmed by the idea of achieving something big, thinking they need to make rapid progress in a short amount of time. But lasting success is rarely the result of a sudden burst of energy or a single effort. It's about consistently focusing your energy on small, actionable steps that move you toward your vision. Whether you're working on a personal project, career aspirations, or a long-term dream, the compound effect shows you that the small, consistent actions you take every day, like reading a book, learning a new skill, or making a phone call, will ultimately lead to remarkable results. To harness the power of focused energy, you must first identify what truly matters to you. What are your values? What are the things that bring you joy and fulfillment? Once you identify your priorities, you can begin to direct your energy toward those areas. Whether it's your health, relationships, career, or personal growth, make a commitment to focus your energy on what matters most and take consistent action toward it every day. Another important aspect of the compound effect is patience. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results, but true change takes time. You must trust the process and have faith that your small, consistent efforts will pay off. Remember, the compounding effect doesn't work overnight. It works over time. Stay committed, keep showing up, and know that the energy you invest today will create the momentum you need to achieve your dreams in the future. The compound effect of focused energy is a powerful tool for creating lasting change in your life. By making small, intentional choices each day, you can begin to build a life that is aligned with your values and filled with happiness, fulfillment, and success. Focus your energy on the things that matter most to you and trust that the consistent actions you take today will compound into the life you truly desire. Lesson 8. The art of letting go. Stop complaining about what you can't control. One of the most transformative shifts you can make in your journey toward happiness is the ability to let go of what you cannot control. Complaining about things that are outside of your influence not only drains your energy, but also prevents you from moving forward with peace and clarity. To design a life of true happiness, you must learn to release the grip you have on things that you cannot change and focus your energy on what is within your power. So often we find ourselves getting caught up in frustrations over situations, people, or outcomes that we cannot control. Whether it's either traffic or someone else's behavior, it's easy to get lost in complaints and negative thinking. However, every moment spent complaining is a moment wasted, one that could have been spent on something more constructive, something that could actually bring you closer to your goals. The truth is that we waste so much energy on things we can't change, and this only creates more stress and frustration. When you realize that there are countless things in life that you have no control over, a great sense of liberation comes with accepting that fact. The key to letting go is to fully acknowledge that not everything is within your grasp to change and to free yourself from the need to control the uncontrollable. This doesn't mean being passive or resigned. It simply means choosing to focus your energy on what you can control: your actions, your thoughts, your reactions, and your mindset. It's incredibly freeing to release the constant battle against external forces. Instead of putting energy into complaining or resisting situations that cannot be changed, you redirect that energy toward what you can influence: your response to those situations. Think about how much energy goes into frustration when you find yourself stuck in traffic or dealing with a rude person. Instead of focusing on the situation and allowing it to ruin your day, you can choose to let go of the need to control it. When you make this choice, you begin to reclaim your peace and happiness, knowing that your inner world is not dependent on what's happening around you. One of the best ways to begin letting go of the need to control is through mindfulness and awareness. When you catch yourself complaining or feeling frustrated by something outside of your control, stop for a moment and ask yourself, what is within my power to change here? More often than not, the answer is nothing, and that's perfectly fine. By acknowledging this, you allow yourself to release the need to control or change things that are beyond your reach, and instead you focus your energy on cultivating a peaceful, centered state of mind. Instead of complaining about the situation, practice reframing. Reframing is the art of seeing things from a different perspective, turning challenges into opportunities for growth. For example, if you're stuck in traffic, instead of complaining about the delay, you could see it as an opportunity to listen to a podcast, reflect on your day, or simply enjoy a moment of peace. It's about finding value in every moment, even the ones that seem inconvenient or frustrating. When you choose to reframe situations, you shift your focus away from the negative aspects and toward the positive or productive opportunities within them. This small shift in mindset has the power to drastically change the way you experience life. Another way to stop complaining about things outside of your control is to embrace acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It means acknowledging that there are things you simply cannot change. For example, if it rains on a day you had planned a picnic, complaining about the weather will only make you feel worse. However, accepting the rain means that you can find another way to enjoy your day. Perhaps you could do an indoor activity you've been wanting to try, or spend quality time with loved ones in a different setting. Acceptance opens the door to creativity and adaptability, allowing you to make the best of any situation instead of letting it steal your happiness. Letting go also involves learning to detach from the need for approval or validation from others. So often we complain about people's opinions, judgments, or behaviors, wishing they would act differently. But the truth is that we cannot control how others behave or think. The more you invest in trying to control the behavior of others or seeking their approval, the more you drain your own energy and happiness. Instead, focus on being true to yourself and living in alignment with your values regardless of what others may think. When you release the need for validation and external approval, you begin to feel more empowered and free. Another essential part of letting go is forgiving others and yourself. Holding on to resentment or anger about things that have happened in the past only keeps you tethered to negative emotions and thoughts. When you forgive, you release the grip of past pain and open yourself up to healing. Forgiveness isn't about excusing bad behavior or pretending that everything is fine. It's about releasing yourself from the emotional burden of holding on to grudges. When you let go of resentment, you make space for peace, joy, and happiness in your life. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, and it's a necessary step in creating lasting happiness. In the same way, self-compassion plays a significant role in letting go. Be gentle with yourself when things don't go according to plan. Stop berating yourself for mistakes or perceived shortcomings. Understand that perfection is an illusion and it's okay to fall short sometimes. When you treat yourself with kindness and understanding, you release the need for self-criticism and judgment. This self-compassionate approach allows you to accept yourself as you are without the constant pressure to be better or perfect. The more you embrace this approach, the more you learn to let go of the internal dissatisfaction that often holds us back from true happiness. The art of letting go is about freeing yourself from the mental and emotional burdens that prevent you from experiencing peace. When you stop complaining about things you can't control, you begin to create space in your life for positivity, growth, and happiness. You empower yourself to focus on what truly matters: your thoughts, your actions, and your ability to choose how you respond to life's challenges. The more you let go of external expectations and internal resistance, the more you create a life that is peaceful, fulfilling, and full of joy. Lesson 9: Focus living, aligning your actions with your highest values. One of the most profound ways to design a life of true happiness and fulfillment is by aligning your actions with your highest values. Too often, we find ourselves living life in reaction to external pressures, societal expectations, or fleeting desires. We go through the motions, chasing after what others deem important or following the crowd without ever stopping to ask ourselves, what truly matters to me? The result is a life that feels out of balance, disconnected, and lacking in deep meaning. The key to overcoming this disconnect is focused living, an intentional, mindful way of life where your actions are driven by the values and principles that resonate most deeply with your soul. When you live in alignment with your values, every action, decision, and choice you make becomes a reflection of your true self. There is a powerful sense of integrity and inner peace that arises when you consciously choose to live according to what you believe is most important. This alignment is what creates lasting happiness, because it allows you to live authentically, without feeling like you're living someone else's version of success or happiness. To begin living a focused life, the first step is to clearly identify your core values. These are the principles that guide your decisions, shape your actions, and give your life purpose. They are the things that, when honored, make you feel fulfilled, grounded, and at peace. For some people, these values might include honesty, compassion, creativity, family, personal growth, or community. Others might prioritize health, integrity, adventure, or spirituality. The key is to understand what matters most to you, not what others expect or what society says should matter. Take a moment to reflect on your values. What are the qualities, principles, or ideals that you hold most dear? What do you want your life to stand for? Write down a list of your top 5 values. As you do this, ask yourself, when have I felt the most fulfilled and at peace with myself? The moments that bring you the greatest joy and satisfaction often align with your deepest values. Pay attention to these insights and use them as a compass to guide your life. Once you've identified your core values, it's time to evaluate how closely your current life aligns with them. Are your actions, relationships, and commitments in line with your values, or are they influenced by external pressures or distractions? It's easy to get caught up in doing what everyone else is doing, or chasing after goals that seem important in the moment, but don't truly reflect your inner desires. If you find that your life isn't fully aligned with your values, it's time to make a shift. Living in alignment with your values requires intention. It's about making conscious choices that bring you closer to the person you want to be and the life you want to create. This process often involves saying no to things that drain you or go against your values and saying yes to things that bring you closer to your true self. For example, if one of your core values is family, but you find yourself constantly working late and missing family gatherings, you may need to set stronger boundaries at work in order to prioritize your family time. If creativity is a core value, but you've been neglecting your creative pursuits to focus on things that feel more practical, you may need to carve out more time for artistic expression in your daily routine. The process of aligning your actions with your values also involves regular self-reflection. Take time each day or week to ask yourself if your actions are aligned with your values. Are you living authentically? Are your choices empowering you to live the life you desire? Regular check-ins with yourself allow you to course correct when necessary and ensure that you're not getting off track. Focused living requires the courage to be honest with yourself and the world around you. It's about stepping away from societal expectations and defining success and happiness on your own terms. Sometimes this means making difficult choices, choosing to walk away from relationships, jobs, or situations that no longer serve you, even if they come with external rewards. But remember, the true rewards come from living a life that is congruent with who you truly are. When you align your actions with your values, you create a sense of inner harmony and fulfillment that no external achievement can provide. One of the most empowering aspects of focused living is that it helps you cultivate resilience. When you live in alignment with your values, you develop a strong sense of purpose that helps you navigate life's challenges. When obstacles arise, you are better equipped to face them because you are grounded in what matters most to you. Your values act as an anchor during times of uncertainty, providing you with the clarity and strength needed to overcome adversity. Another important aspect of focused living is the ability to practice gratitude for the life you are creating. As you align your actions with your values, you begin to see the fruits of your efforts. You start to notice the positive changes in your life, greater peace, stronger relationships, a deeper sense of purpose, and you learn to appreciate the journey you're on. Gratitude helps reinforce your commitment to living authentically and reminds you that even when things aren't perfect, you are on the right path. Living in alignment with your values doesn't mean that you will never face challenges or discomfort. In fact, focused living may require you to step out of your comfort zone and take risks in order to honor your deepest desires. But the difference is that when you make choices based on your values, you create a sense of fulfillment that makes the journey worthwhile, no matter how challenging it may be. As you continue to align your actions with your highest values, you will find that your life becomes more meaningful and your happiness more enduring. Focused living empowers you to live with purpose, authenticity, and integrity, creating a life that is rich with fulfillment and joy. When you focus your energy on what matters most to you, you stop chasing after empty successes and instead cultivate a deep, lasting sense of happiness that is grounded in your true self. Lesson 10: The compound effect of focused energy, creating lasting change in your life. The power of consistent focused energy is one of the most profound tools for creating lasting, meaningful change in your life. Many people underestimate the effect of small daily actions, believing that big drastic changes are the only ones that will lead to progress. However, the reality is that it's the small, consistent efforts over time that compound and result in significant transformations. The compound effect is the idea that small, seemingly insignificant actions when repeated consistently, can lead to remarkable outcomes. This principle is not only relevant to financial growth, but it's a key to creating lasting happiness, success, and personal growth. When you consistently direct your energy toward a goal or intention, it begins to build momentum, much like a snowball rolling downhill. At first, the progress may seem slow or barely noticeable, but as you continue to put in the effort, the results begin to accumulate and snowball into something far greater than what you initially expected. Over time, these small, consistent actions lead to significant improvements in your life. Whether you're working on personal development, building healthier habits, achieving career goals, or cultivating happiness, the power of consistent, focused energy cannot be overstated. One of the most powerful aspects of the compound effect is that it works in all areas of life. It's not just about achieving massive success in one area, but about creating a ripple effect that positively impacts everything you do. If you focus your energy on your physical health by exercising daily over time, your strength, stamina, and overall health improve. But as a result of your physical improvement, you may notice a boost in your confidence, energy, and mental clarity, which can spill over into your personal relationships, your work, and even your emotional well-being. Likewise, when you focus your energy on your personal growth by reading books, practicing self-reflection, and learning new skills every day, the knowledge and wisdom you accumulate over time have a profound impact on your mindset and ability to make better decisions. The more you commit to these small actions, the more they compound into a well-rounded, empowered version of yourself who is better equipped to navigate the challenges of life. In the pursuit of happiness, the compound effect is equally important. Happiness is often viewed as a destination, a goal to be reached once certain conditions are met. However, happiness is not a singular event, it is a continuous journey. The more you focus your energy on cultivating happiness through consistent practices like gratitude, mindfulness, self-compassion, and positivity, the more these habits will begin to shape your life. As you dedicate yourself to these small intentional acts, you start to create a foundation for long-lasting happiness that isn't reliant on fleeting circumstances or external validation. One of the most effective ways to harness the power of the compound effect is by setting clear, achievable goals and then taking consistent action toward those goals every day. It's easy to get discouraged when we don't see immediate results, but the key is to stay committed to the process. For example, if your goal is to improve your physical health, you may start with a 10-minute walk every day. At first, this may not feel like much, but over time, those 10-minute walks compound into improved fitness, increased energy, and better overall health. As your body becomes stronger, you may start to add more time to your walks or try new forms of exercise. The compounded results from these small steps eventually lead to big changes. When you set goals for your career or personal development, remember that it's not about doing everything all at once. Instead, break your goals into small, manageable steps. If you want to write a book, for example, don't think about writing the entire manuscript at once. Focus on writing a little every day, even if it's just a few hundred words. By doing this consistently, over time, you'll build up a significant body of work. The compound effect of daily writing leads you to the completion of your book, one page at a time. The beauty of the compound effect lies in the fact that small, consistent actions are often far more sustainable than drastic, sudden efforts. When we attempt to make large, sweeping changes in a short period of time, we often set ourselves up for failure. Because we burn out or lose motivation. The key to success is not in trying to change everything at once, but in making small, steady progress. Over time, these small actions add up to something remarkable, and you'll be surprised at how far you've come without feeling overwhelmed or overburdened. To fully tap into the power of the compound effect, you must also be patient. Change takes time, and it's easy to become discouraged when the results don't appear as quickly as we'd like. However, the important thing is to trust the process and continue showing up, even on days when you don't feel like it. The key to success is not perfection, but consistency. By sticking with your goals and continuing to focus your energy on them day after day, you will inevitably see results. Whether it's building a new habit, achieving a career milestone, or creating a lasting sense of happiness, the small, consistent actions you take today will lead to powerful changes tomorrow. The compound effect also requires you to be intentional about where you place your energy. It's easy to get distracted by the noise and chaos of daily life, but when you focus your energy on what truly matters to you, Whether it's your health, your relationships, your personal growth, or your happiness, you create the foundation for a meaningful and fulfilling life. Every small, intentional choice you make compounds over time and leads to profound change. One important aspect of the compound effect is learning to embrace setbacks and challenges. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go as planned, but remember that setbacks are a part of the process. The key is to keep going, knowing that each challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow. The compound effect teaches you that even setbacks, when handled with focus and perseverance, can lead to progress in the long run. As you continue to direct your energy toward your goals, you will begin to notice how the small, consistent actions you take every day lead to greater results than any single dramatic effort could ever produce. The compound effect allows you to make lasting change one small action at a time. By staying focused and committed to your vision, you create a life that is filled with growth, fulfillment, and happiness. The power of focused energy, compounded over time, is the secret to creating lasting change and achieving your greatest desires. Lesson 11: The power of saying less. Speak with impact. In a world filled with noise, constant chatter, and endless opinions, it's easy to forget that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say less. Our culture often celebrates verbosity, quantity over quality, and the ability to fill every moment with words. However, true impact comes not from saying more, but from speaking with intention, clarity, and purpose. When we learn the power of saying less, we not only communicate more effectively, but we also cultivate greater wisdom, influence, and peace. The power of saying less lies in its ability to focus our attention on what truly matters. In many aspects of life, whether in conversations, meetings, or daily interactions, people often feel the need to speak for the sake of being heard or to fill uncomfortable silences. However, the more we talk, the more we risk diluting our message, clouding our intentions, and losing the opportunity for meaningful connection. When we choose our words carefully and speak with purpose, we elevate our communication and ensure that our words carry weight. One of the primary benefits of saying less is that it allows us to become better listeners. In a world where everyone seems to be talking, truly listening has become a rare and valuable skill. Listening is an act of respect and understanding, and when we give others the space to speak, we open ourselves up to new perspectives, deeper connections, and greater empathy. Often, the most powerful conversations occur when we allow the other person to express themselves fully without interrupting, without the need to offer advice or solutions. By listening more and speaking less, we create an environment where meaningful dialogue can unfold naturally. Saying less also allows us to refine our thoughts and ideas. When we speak less, we create the mental space necessary for clarity and reflection. This pause gives us the opportunity to think before we speak, ensuring that our words are deliberate and thoughtful. It's easy to rush into conversations with half-formed ideas, but when we take a moment to collect our thoughts, we can communicate with greater precision and intention. By speaking with purpose, we avoid the trap of mindlessly filling space with irrelevant information, and instead we ensure that what we say truly adds value. The art of saying less also requires learning to embrace silence. Silence is not a void or absence, it is a powerful tool for reflection, understanding, and growth. In a world that constantly demands our attention, silence is a space where we can pause, reflect, and regain clarity. It's in this silence that we process our thoughts, connect with our inner selves, and build emotional resilience. By becoming comfortable with silence, we free ourselves from the pressure to constantly perform or entertain with our words. Silence offers us the freedom to observe, to think deeply, and to understand both ourselves and others more fully. Another important aspect of saying less is the ability to set boundaries with our words. In many relationships, we can easily fall into the trap of over-explaining, justifying our actions, or offering unsolicited advice. By learning to say less, we set a boundary for ourselves and others, allowing us to maintain our sense of integrity and self-respect. Saying less in these situations doesn't mean avoiding difficult conversations. It means choosing the most effective way to communicate without over-explaining or oversharing. It's about asserting our boundaries with confidence, knowing that you don't need to say everything in order to be understood or respected. The power of saying less also enhances our ability to lead with influence. Leaders who speak with intention and purpose command attention and respect. They are able to distill their thoughts into clear, impactful messages that resonate with others. By saying less, a leader can create a sense of mystery and authority, giving others the space to think and interpret their words in their own way. A leader who speaks thoughtfully and sparingly can inspire trust, respect, and admiration, whereas a leader who speaks endlessly risks losing credibility and influence. Saying less also allows us to practice emotional control. When we feel anger, frustration, or excitement, it can be tempting to speak impulsively, allowing our emotions to dictate our words. However, by choosing to say less, we create the space necessary to process our feelings and respond in a calm and controlled manner. Emotional control is essential all this practice for maintaining peace and resolving conflicts. By speaking less in emotionally charged moments, we avoid saying things we might later regret and give ourselves the opportunity to respond with wisdom and composure. We can also apply the art of saying less to how we communicate with ourselves. Often we bombard ourselves with negative self-talk, self-criticism, or unnecessary thoughts that detract from our peace and well-being. By learning to quiet the internal chatter, we create the mental space necessary for positive, empowering thoughts. This practice of internal silence allows us to focus on our strengths, acknowledge our progress, and cultivate self-compassion. The more we learn to speak less to ourselves in a negative way, the more we open ourselves to positivity, growth, and self-love. In practice, the power of saying less can be achieved through conscious effort and awareness. Start by reflecting on the situations where you tend to speak too much or over-explain. Are there moments when you feel the need to fill silence or to say something simply for the sake of being heard? Notice these patterns and challenge yourself to embrace silence, to think before you speak, and to choose your words more thoughtfully. You don't need to say all of the things that come to mind. Sometimes, less is more. To demonstrate the effectiveness of saying less, consider adopting the practice of pausing before responding in conversations. Whether it's a casual chat or a serious discussion, take a brief moment to think about what you truly want to convey before speaking. By taking a pause, you not only give yourself time to reflect, but you also give the other person the space to speak and contribute more meaningfully. This simple practice of pausing can enhance the quality of your communication and deepen your connections. The ability to say less lies in its capacity to communicate more effectively using fewer words. By speaking with intention, listening more, embracing silence, and setting boundaries with our words, we become more effective communicators, stronger leaders, and more thoughtful individuals. Being less assertive is not the goal, silent or withdrawing from communication. It's about being mindful of the words we choose and using them to enhance our lives and the lives of those around us. When we embrace the art of saying less, we unlock a deeper level of wisdom, influence, and peace, creating space for greater happiness and fulfillment. As we come to the end of this journey, it's important to remember that happiness is not something you simply find. It is something that you create, cultivate, and build through your actions, mindset, and daily choices. Each lesson of this book has presented you with powerful tools to create lasting change, cultivate peace, and foster a deeper sense of joy in your life. The key to unlocking your true happiness lies within you, through your willingness to reflect, to let go of what no longer serves you, and to focus your energy on what truly matters. Throughout these pages, we've explored how understanding and accepting your own self-worth is the foundation for building a lasting sense of happiness. By learning to appreciate yourself and embrace imperfection, you break free from the need for external validation and create a solid internal foundation that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. We've also discovered the power of gratitude, mindfulness, and focused living. These practices shift your focus from scarcity to abundance, from frustration to appreciation. When you adopt these tools in your everyday life, you not only begin to notice more of the beauty around you, but also create a deeper sense of peace and contentment. The importance of creating boundaries and saying less, both in our communication and in our mental self-talk, allows us to protect our energy and preserve our emotional well-being. By embracing the power of silence and intentionality in our words, we open the door to greater clarity, stronger relationships, and deeper self-understanding. Moreover, we've learned how to stop complaining and changing your mindset from one of helplessness to empowerment. Complaints only keep us stuck in the past, while choosing to focus on solutions and growth propels us forward. The compound effect of small, consistent actions when aligned with our highest values and goals creates lasting transformation that ripples throughout all aspects of our lives. Happiness, peace, and fulfillment are not distant destinations to be reached. They are ongoing journeys that unfold with each decision we create. It's about waking up every day with the intention to live in alignment with our values, to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, and to practice gratitude for the present moment. Each day is an opportunity to shift your mindset, adjust your focus, and take one step closer to the life that you want. The work is not always easy, and there will be moments of doubt, fear, and setbacks along the way. But remember, true happiness is not found in the absence of obstacles, but in how you respond to them. When you approach life with a mindset of growth and a commitment by living your life in accordance with your values, you turn setbacks into opportunities for greater self-awareness. As you move forward from this moment, take the tools, insights, and practices you've learned and incorporate them into your daily life. Focus on what you can control, let go of what you cannot, and remember that the most powerful form of happiness comes from within. You are the creator of your own happiness, and the life you desire is within reach if you are willing to work hard and remain committed to your own personal development. So let today be the day you choose to design a happiness that's all your own. You have the power to make that choice, and it's RTS with the simple decision to take control of your thoughts, actions, and energy. Your happiness, your peace, and your fulfillment are waiting for you to claim them. The journey may take time, but every step you take will bring you closer to the life of purpose, joy, and inner peace that you deserve.